Hey everybody, my name is Ethen Ostroff. I'm here with the one and only Bob Simon from the Simon Law Group. We are here to teach you how to run your firm a little bit better, ideally, how to handle cases a little bit better, and just sort of chit chat and talk life. Bob, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit to our listeners?
So Bob Simon, I own and operate a trial law firm out of Southern California. We're in Arizona and Texas as well. Started with just me, now we got about 30 lawyers. I've won Trial Lawyer of the Year many times in California, different places. Now I do a lot of building technology for law adjacent stuff. We work together with Ethen and his companies to kind of scale not only our law firm, but the other stuff that we're doing. But yeah, from Just HQ Attorney Share, I do Bourbon of Proof, I'm a media stuff. So wear a lot of different hats now.
Yeah, I mean, Bob is one of these guys that really has embraced both being a trial lawyer. I mean, I got to sit and listen a little bit to him in action earlier today, and he also is a bit of an operator and is focused on maximizing value for his clients. But, I'm here really to learn a little bit from you. But,
I hope you learned something. We were sitting in your hotel room earlier.
I did?
I was actually, just for you those watching or listening, I was taking a deposition in this hotel room. It was nothing nefarious, but it was a very sordid deposition to hear from a defense expert just say that an injured victim needs no future care.
Yeah, you pinned him as well as you possibly could.
It was fun, man. Well, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
I mean, Bob and I go a little bit back, and I have admired what he's built, both from a business perspective. He runs a conference called Mardi Gras that I got the opportunity to be at last October. You are listening to this, it's a great one that I would suggest you go to. Bob has also just released a book called Trying Disc Injury Cases that we have right here. And I also have another gift from his buddy and someone I met through Bob, Jefferson Fisher's book. So Bob is now, when did you release this?
Just came out end of January, finally, yeah.
Nice. So, skipping the formalities because it makes everybody a little uncomfortable. I would love to hear, kind of cutting through directly to, really the meat of the show. What are some things that now if you were starting a firm today that, maybe worked for you when you started your firm that absolutely would not work today?
So when I started my firm, this was 2010, cloud wasn't really there yet. We had servers, so I was scanning in all the mail myself with my little brother, PDFing it, putting it into folders, all stuff that's automated now. Things that I wish I knew then is the ability to have mentorship circles or coaching classes. Like that. It might have been a thing back then, but it's something that wasn't easy to access. So that's one. The other one is to be able to really understand the operations side of stuff, because I was so busy litigating and trying my cases and concentrating on that and bringing in more business just from not from ad spend stuff, but just boots on the ground things. I mean, I would never have done anything differently because of where I am today, but if I had known those things back then, really would have accelerated my career.
Yeah, I mean, something that I talk about a lot with the business people I deal with and lawyers I interact with is the concept of being on a hamster wheel. And at a certain point, if you are on the wheel, you can get stuck on it. This is a delicate balance. I got to listen to you an hour ago, taking a deposition in a very specific case. And, as you scale, I'd love to know how you draw that line of what are the hamster wheels you still feel you need to spin as opposed to the ones you build for other people to spin.
So I'm a big believer of outsourcing or building hamster wheels for things you don't like to do, or things you don't think you are good at, or things that can be more automated. I step back into the wheel on cases that I know I can move the needle on for whatever reason. I shared with you on this case, we have a mediation. By the time this airs, they would have paid me $5 million plus on this case, but I knew the defense experts. I know all the pushing points. I know all the defense lawyers on the case. I knew if I come in and take these expert depositions with my methodology and stuff I can do, moves the needle, they go back, report to the carriers, case resolves at mediation. But generally my mindset when I started the firm was I'm going to not build a firm where I am the apex. it's the Simon Law Group, but we rebranded the Justice Team because I wanted to highlight every other single person there, so they didn't want me to try every case. They didn't want me for every single touch point. And I think lawyers now, their biggest fail is their ego. They got to have their name on the door, and they have to be in every little thing. And if you just let that go and let other people do things they're good at, then I think you'll be a lot happier. But the hamster wheel thing, man, if you can get off the wheel and take a break a week at a time to start and see if your firm will keep going without you there, and then 2 weeks, that's the real test to see if you really have everything dialed in.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, a successful business is a commercial enterprise that's profitable and runs without you.
Yep.
You know, I think I've noticed that lawyers, you know, think of the practice of law as a part of their identity, and being a good lawyer is sort of like this insecure thing that they're so tied up in, that it's like if they're not the good lawyer, then it's not good lawyering.
Yeah, I mean, these people always deal with something they think is imposter syndrome, whether they're litigating, trying cases. Oh, I'm never good enough. I got to do more of my craft, or I'm not the lawyer that I want to be. At the end of the day, the consumer that you're representing, they don't know any of these things, right? They know you as a lawyer, period, right? They don't know if you're grinding every hour of the day, and especially with trial work, you can always do something else. You can always figure a way to perfect your case. You can stay up all night and try to just do all those things. End of the day, if you're in the moment, you know stuff well enough, that's how you actually succeed. But I do think lawyers get lost in the weeds. They try to be perfectionist. I'm of the big mindset of delegate, trust, but verify. If it's not your work product that you think is the best and it's 80% good, it's good enough. Stop micromanaging and thinking too hard about it, because if you do that, you will never grow or be happy.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of circumstances, 8 out of 10 is still done, and done is better than perfect. And, you know, you're always gonna leave something on the table that you gotta move forward with, because our clients need us to be focusing on the next one that we're dealing with.
Yeah, fail forward, right? If you make a decision, if it's wrong, step back, do it again. But don't just get analysis paralysis and like you can't even move the ball forward because you're just thinking about it too much. It's often, man, there's so many times, I have so many like lawyers I deal with even at my own firm where they just second guess every decision. I'm like, just pick one avenue, just go with it and run, whatever.
So, you know, lawyer just listening to this, either they're at a firm right now and they're miserable, or they're kind of happy but feel like there's just more out there. Why is there an opportunity out there for the lawyer listening right now to go and start a firm and thrive the way you did, and, you know, feel the pride you and I feel running a successful firm like we do?
First thing is, don't be afraid to fail. If you go and start your firm and it doesn't work out, the worst thing that happens is you go back to where you were and somebody will probably pay you more because you took a chance on yourself. That's the worst thing that can happen.
Yep.
It is so much easier to start your firm today more than ever. All you need legitimately is your cell phone, a phone number, client trust account, and then invest in some operating systems, and you're off to the races. And especially with social media, is you can really identify yourself as a brand and somebody's a specialist in a space just by creating content and getting in front of somebody. So that's like the niche marketing, or niche. I always forget how that's supposed to be said. Big in this industry. So if you're a good branded lawyer, if people know what you do and they know how to find you, your phone will ring. And if it rings, you can decide, do I work on it? Do I partner with somebody? But don't worry about that. Let the phone ring first. But what I say, never turn off the faucet and enjoy the flood. Just rechannel where it goes. Lawyers call, like if you are a lawyer that gets a call on a case that might be lucrative and you're like, well, I'm too busy, that's the biggest mistake that you can make. Yep. You could always partner with somebody or find somebody else to do it with you. But no, it's so easy today, and the best part is there's so many mentorship circles that you can go to that are low cost access or sometimes free, that put you in coaching programs, mentorship circles that teach you the right way to do things. And by the way, they also have working opportunities for you too, you know. But yeah, if you're watching or listening, there's no better time to bet on yourself. And clients now, they don't give a crap where your office is, man. They do not care.
Or if you even have an office.
Or if you even have an office. They don't. And they just know you rather would have a lawyer in your living room than going to their office downtown.
I mean, for the first 2.5 years, my office was my attic. I had a pin on the map because I knew I needed one for marketing, but it was my attic that I worked out of.
I work most of the time at home. Unless I'm in a courtroom and I need to physically be there, there's no reason why I shouldn't be.
So, couple of things. Number one, I want to tell you not to suck up a little bit, but things that I value about you, okay?
Oh, here we go. Let's go.
I genuinely appreciate that you genuinely want to help young lawyers like myself. I think that is a real thing. Why do you feel this, need to help people like myself, break into this industry and do what we want to do?
All right, because I truly think that our industry, legal, is so old and antiquated, and especially in geographic areas where you literally have the same stale old law firms that don't change. The only way you break that wheel is if you teach the younger generations, the associates that are undervalued there, how to get out of it, how to compete with those traditional law firms immediately, compete with them for low cost, low overhead, where the client and the consumer wins. And to me, that's access for justice. And that's, if you do that as a whole, where everybody has, it's like the Rebel Alliance. Everybody's got their own firm, but everybody has consistent things that are behind it. And I mean, that's the big vision. And you can see it in, like, in my world, personal injury, product liability, and stuff like that. If other lawyers are getting big successes, the settlements are higher because they know that every lawyer is going to take this to trial. But I'm a huge believer in that. That's why I like to coach and educate. And when I started my practice, man, 3 cases I tried by myself the first year, and it was hard, almost impossible to run the firm. So I learned, oh shit, I can bring in like the best of the best that I know and give them half the fee and they'll carry the costs, and I could try the case with them. Oh shit, this sounds great. So I would try it with them, learn a whole heck of a lot, then plagiarize all their shit, make it my own a little bit.
Sure.
And now most of my business model is people refer me cases on that kind of thing, where they learn. I was like, look, if you're bringing me a case, I'm more than willing to do it together and show you how to do this so that you can replicate the system. But yeah, big believer in that.
Yeah, I mean, that goes in line with the next thing. I also can sense your abundant mindset. You don't have like sort of the old blood of a scarcity. If I tell someone my secrets, you literally let me listen to an actual deposition that, a old age lawyer maybe doesn't want to share that kind of information with me. Why are you okay with being abundant with that kind of information?
Because if you share all this information, everybody can win. And like, it really makes me, you never trust the lawyers that hoard the information. It's like, why are you hoarding your secret sauce? Like, other people can also learn this. Like, nobody's going to be you, but why can't you give that away? I don't know, I just think that's real short-sighted. It also helps with like building business and building trust circles and community. And that's most of my cases are referral based, so you need that network effect. So by helping people know you help, they'll do a good job. So it comes full circle. It's like the legal karma, law karma. This is a cool name, law karma. Karma of law.
Getting that domain in the next hour?
Fuck, he already got it. That's how good Ethen is. He just got it.
I appreciate that. I have spent, I'll get DM'd by a random person on LinkedIn, and I'll hop on the phone with them for an hour because I believe in karma personally. And the first time you and I interacted, we hopped on the phone, and I really appreciated that about you.
Well, I think like I would have loved for that to happen whenever I was a young lawyer. We didn't have social media so much. I mean, Facebook was just starting when I started my firm. I had to go hunt down people I wanted to be around at conferences. Now it's so much easier. And I don't know, if you help somebody from, especially out of state, out of practice area, I got a call from a guy in Arkansas, I'll get on the phone, talk to him about how I can help him. And next time he has a case in my wheelhouse, he's gonna think of me, and vice versa. And I think that's what more people should be doing. You build community by helping people selflessly.
And my mission is to represent 1 million people.
Oh, I love that.
And to place 1 million jobs. And
why only 1 million? Why?
I'm defining what success looks like for me. And, my way of getting there,
love it.
Isn't that I have to have my name on everyone. And I feel my staffing company helps provide better justice for their clients, which creates a better experience for justice for what their people are going through. I feel like I'm fulfilling my mission by helping other firms.
And not only helping the firms, think about helping all the folks that work with you and for you, because they have families, they have dependents, and if you better their lives, it has a societal effect as well.
Yeah, I mean, not to make this about me, you know, I feel that same energy from you, and I value that, you know, and
That's because we're Pennsylvania guys.
exactly.
It's a different mentality.
And you know, my mom's a Yinzer, right? My family's from Meadville, so you know.
That's why they're good people.
It's not, you don't hear the harsh Philly accent. I know my
No,
brother-in-law's got the Jersey thing going on over there, but that's okay.
Yeah. Jersey's more of an annex of Philly or New York, right?
Pretty much. Yeah, they like to think they're New Yorkers, but that's okay. All right. Anyway, talking a little more substance on case handling.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk intake, then kind of case management a little bit.
Okay.
So we work together with, you know, you're not my biggest client. You have one impact assistant with us, and we call our people impact assistants because they're there not to twiddle their thumbs. They're there to make an impact for your clients. You know, you have one impact assistant with us on the intake department. You know, why should a law firm listen to this prioritize hiring a intake specialist?
So I think our first conversation we had, I was like, Ethan, help me have my firm buy into using these folks, right? Because I'm a believer in it, and I think, and we've talked more because we're using it for other things and other companies that we have, but you should use these folks because they are part of your firm. Like they're on all of our chats. When it's their birthday, it's happy birthday. You know, they are part of our team. We have a lot of remote people that are, I mean, not just with you, but I'm saying like even in California, Arizona, people, not everybody's working from home most of our firm. We have 100 employees, and that's just how we operate. But by having somebody that's systematic and is super, put it this way, that your impact assistant is so helpful that he's helped almost train some of the other intake on things that they could do and scripts and to make sure that these questions are answered. And you could see the difference because I can tell when like I send them a good lead or not to go follow up and do, and I can see the bare minimum from somebody else, and I can see with yours, and there's a stark difference. And then I'll go back to the other one and say, this is probably just listen to one of his phone calls to understand like what you could be doing differently in order to make that client feel better, right? But I think that's just goes down to training and dedication. And honestly, you're 24/7 that way. Like our phones just don't shut off, and if people are in a catastrophic injury or need help, you got to be 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, if you let that call go to voicemail, they're going to your competitor.
They're gone. They're gone. And if they go to your competitor, they're getting less service too. That's the way I see it.
It's your duty to answer that phone, and the number one malpractice complaint is not answering the phone.
Client communication.
Correct. And you know, when you get reached out to by somebody, whether it's on Facebook, or whether it's a DM, or whether it's on your website, you need to have your shit together that you're going to catch that lead. You're going to call them promptly, not just because you might lose money. You are wasting money in marketing if you don't get them converted, but it's because they came to you. It's your duty until they say stop to answer their question.
Yeah, and
I
it's
feel.
like in any lawyer law firm, people should know who you are, what you do, where you are, and how to contact you. Easy. And like if you go to somebody's Facebook page or Instagram and it doesn't show any of that stuff, it's like, man, you're losing an opportunity. I don't care if you have to have a professional page or not, but if you have that one, like true source link or whatever it is, that it all goes systematically back to the same place in your CRM, everybody could see it, your team can follow up on it.
Yep.
If I knew that today, man, we would have been like an acceleration pad when I started my firm.
So, you know, at my firm, we are built on the foundation of intake. For a long time, until last September, all we did was generate leads, get them on the phone, intake them, and sign them up, or refer them out with a thorough spoken to intake. Now we actually keep clients, and we have that same aggression on, you know, getting that client converted. You know, now let's talk a little bit of like onboarding and keeping clients as clients.
Yeah.
You know, on the matter management side, something that I've been digging a lot into is, you know, I got frustrated, and the reason I started actually keeping cases is because I'd refer out cases, and the referral firms that I'd send them to just wouldn't call clients. They'd come back to me and say, I can't get them on the phone. And I just felt this obligation that I knew I could do it better, and that's why I started doing it. So, you know, we talked a little bit when we were sitting outside about a concussion case as the perfect example of a law firm that keeps that client compliant, and I want to hear kind of your thoughts on this. How do you maximize the value of a concussion case? Why do some firms get $50,000 and others get 500, 5 million, 50 million on the same fact pattern?
So it's not a concussion, it's a traumatic brain injury.
Okay.
So it's not a car accident, it's a car wreck. I just have like
Fair.
many things. So if you're dealing with a brain injury case, or even somebody that has a brain injury and it's showing up as an emotional injury, how that case is valued and how it affected that human being. Doctors can say whatever they want. You have some baseline stuff, and like, I'm a big believer in less is more. So if you're in constant communication, not with just your client, but their spouse, the people around them, that's what you want, because it's those stories that other people are talking about, so then you can help make sure they're compliant on medical care. And like, I don't care so much about like some medical appointments. If you have a true like brain injury or sequelae thereof, the best thing for you is going to be like therapy and learning how to deal with certain situations, and having a family circle around you that also understands. And anybody that's ever been in that situation with somebody that has like some sort of impairment, you understand. And once you understand that, you get your circle around them. So it's being in contact with everybody else as well as the client. And there's ways to do that. You can have SMS campaigns. I like to have all messages sent directly into our case management system, so everything's tracked, all the communications. Also helps with the storyline or the storytelling at the end. Mm-hmm. But it's client communications, always that A1, and then impressing on them when there are important inflection points for them to say, all right, today's the visit with a neurologist. They're likely going to order like another brain MRI. Here's some things that they may be asking you. I need you to try to remember. And what I do is I make sure that the spouse or a family member goes to the appointment with them. They're called collateral witnesses, collateral damages witnesses. They're going to help in the appointment to explain what's going on, because usually the person with the brain injury doesn't understand. They may not see it.
And they're going through a brain injury.
Exactly. So it's those other folks where most of it's coming from. And by the way, evidence later in trial is that they're there in the appointment and they're there. It's easier to get that stuff into evidence, because now you have somebody that's not your brain injured client. Somebody else is not only doing the storytelling, they're also talking about all of the medical appointments they went to, what happened with all the doctors, all the before and afters. And by the way, they're not the plaintiff. Gold, right? So that's how you win a lot of those cases.
So, the communication aspect with the family members, the communication aspect as best as you can with the actual plaintiff. If law firm A helps that client through that process and law firm B, maybe they take 30, 45 days to get that client onboarded in your system, or how can that materially impact the value of the case?
Well, you're going to have trust factors with your client, first of all, but most cases, and we talk a lot about this in the book, when the defense tries to hone in where they win or where they try to defeat you in all these cases, is like the first 30 to 45 days. Mm-hmm. What was happening? Why you didn't see anybody? This is all real. It's not fake. It's all fake. It's attorney driven, right? This is where they win a lot of these cases, because they don't understand that. So it's absolutely critical. And I don't care if when they contact you, if you get them a quick telemedicine visit just for a check-in to see how they're doing, to then prescribe to them to see physical therapist or an orthopedic doctor or x-rays or MRIs if they need. That's the immediate step. Like, that has to happen sooner than later to document the symptoms and everything that's going on. So if you're waiting that long, you're probably going to lose a lot of your cases, to be honest with you.
So let's talk about your book.
Okay,
so why does every lawyer handling personal injury cases need this book?
Because every single lawyer, 80% of the cases you work on in PI are involving neck and back injuries. And a lot of these neck and back injuries may or may not go to a surgery, from disectomies to fusions. But a lot of times it's pain management or chronic pain. And what this book teaches is how to diffuse all the defense tactics, how to, from intake, I had 2 radiologists write a couple of the chapters, because I wanted to show everybody, hey man, this is real medicine.
It's not
just me talking. I literally have sites. I have opening PowerPoints, closing PowerPoints, outlines for experts. I break into chapters on biomechanical experts, to defense expert depositions, to radiologists, and try to go through every single inflection point and then teach everybody how you can do it too. This is a lot of my secret sauce in here, and it shows you how to frame cases. For disc injury cases, everybody has a degenerative condition, and every jurisdiction allows aggravation of a pre-existing condition. Embrace that concept. Because even when they're doing these light impact cases, if you have a degenerative condition that's made symptomatic, the law still provides for it. Then it becomes, are you good at the clinical picture, the medicine, getting the concessions from the defense experts, and turning these 6-figure cases into 7 or 8-figure cases.
It's great.
Yep.
Everybody, we'll put a link in the chat here. You got to pick up one of Bob's books.
Oh.
I'm
Fun Bob 10. a Fun Bob 10, they'll give you 10% off
All right.
for all
Fun
Trial Guides
Bob
products.
10, I will put that also in the description if I am permitted. Maybe I'll make people listen to the whole episode to get it.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, sure, whatever. All right. So last piece to leave people with. So what is, I don't know, what's the last thing you want to leave our listeners with today?
Ooh. I think the last thing that I think a lot of people need to hear is all of us are passionate about something. Like I'm really passionate about like this stuff, our craft, the love of law. And a lot of people went to law school and they're passionate about helping folks, and they're figuring out what best defines me and what my career is going to look like. And if you're watching or listening, think long and hard about this. How do you define happiness and how do you define success? Many companies write down their mission statement and you always fall back to it. Do that for yourself. Mm-hmm. And if you ever go astray from it, it's like, this doesn't align with where I want to be with my life. Why am I doing it? Learn how to say no. It doesn't fit with your values. It doesn't fit where you want to go. Stick to that. And if you hit that target and you get to that place where, if you're a happy lawyer, you happily represent clients, they get better results, and then you have a happier family situation too. But like, never lose that North Star.
Bob Simon, everybody. So thanks so much for listening to this episode of The Growth Code with the one and only Bob Simon. I will see you next time.